Hi, I'm Jason. Welcome to the Burton Family Adventure AZ channel. We do a lot of stuff on here. You'll probably recognize some of the 100 series Toyota Land Cruiser videos. Another great passion of ours is hiking. We've got a video out there that you should take a look at that has my kids checking out some different ruins and things like that. Finding actually some pottery up there, which we left for future people to enjoy. But what I've got for you today is really special. We're sitting around, we've gotten so much snow up here in the mountains of Arizona this year that we're really anxious to get out and start backpacking. So it's something that we've really had a passion for over the past, I'd say 5 to 7 years, something I did a lot when I was younger as well. But we had a boys survivalist club out in Indiana. And with that, every year we learned something, and I tried to upgrade something that would enable us to have more enjoyment while we were out there on the trail with the boys. And I think everybody that was a part of that class ended up learning a lot about what they needed and what they didn't need. As a matter of fact, the first time we went out, there was somebody that had a base weight of somewhere around 65 or 70 pounds. I don't think we ever determined exactly what it was. Well, I can tell you this, by the time the 5th year rolled around, there wasn't anybody that even had probably 40 pounds in their pack, because there are just some really smart ways that you can pack your backpack, some really inexpensive ways, which is important to us. I've got 7 kids. It has to be inexpensive if we're going to do this. But there are some things you can pick out that are really decent, as long as you're not doing something like the Pacific Coast Trail or the Appalachian Trail or something like that. Anyway, what I wanted to do this evening was go ahead and do a pack shakedown, unpack it, show you what we carry, and show you what's worked for us. I'll talk about each of these items as we go through, and I think you'll get a lot out of them. Some of them aren't available anymore. Most of them are in some form or another. But as the years went on, we ended up getting a pretty good pack together, not only for myself, but all of my boys and my wife and my girls. We all have backpacks. Some need a little more attention than others, but I think we're getting about to where we need to be for a 3 or 4 day trip. Now I'm set up. I can be indefinite, especially with my base weight. I can carry as much water as I need, pretty much. I mean, to a degree, of course. Or as much food as I need in order to get me by, I would say probably at least a week or a week and a half, something like that. One thing that I intended to do when we lived out in Indiana was to hike the Knobstone Trail. It's supposed to be a good warm-up for the Appalachian Trail, but now that we're out here in northern Arizona, we have a lot of trails close by. And one I'd like to try this year is the Highline Trail, which goes across the Mogollon Rim. If you're not familiar with that, definitely look it up and watch some videos on other people hiking up here in northern Arizona's rim country. I think you'll be surprised at what Arizona has to offer. Anyway, let's go ahead and get to what is in the pack. The first thing I want to tell you about is the pack itself. It is a Granite Gear Crown X60. And this was the drop version of the Crown 2. And I was able to get it when it came up on the Drop website, and it was inexpensive, and it has been, well, just by far the best backpack that I've had. I had several inexpensive ones in a row. Then I had a nice Kelty that I carried, but then I got this last year before our trip, took it out, and it is by far the most comfortable backpack that I've ever had. Of course, it's my first kind of premium one as well. Anyway, this Granite Gear Crown X60 backpack, it weighs about 3 pounds 7 ounces by itself, and it just has a number of really good features. It's got a removable brain, of course, and it's just really comfortable. Up to about 35 pounds or 40 pounds. Once you get much beyond that, then it starts to lose its comfort a little bit, but it's meant to be a lightweight backpack, and I really, really like it. Now, one thing that I would like to upgrade at some point, but I just haven't, because some of the options out there, the Helinox and Zero and things like that, they're expensive. So what did I get here? Well, I've got an REI Co-op Tripod Stool, and this thing's great. It weighs about 1 pound 2 ounces, and it's a tripod, so don't expect to get back relief from that within camp. So there's that. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, that's right. My trekking poles. Now these are a candidate for upgrade without a doubt. These are outdoor gear, outdoor products from Walmart. They were my very first set of trekking poles. They're the only trekking poles I've ever owned. I don't know any different. But I'll tell you this, when I switched over to trekking poles for my hiking, now this is for you guys that are in kind of middle age like me, it really helped my knees out in hiking and felt a lot better. Once I realized how to use 2 poles at once, it became a breeze. And I used to use an old hiking stick. I had an old piece of willow that was great. It was big, flexible, but it does not even compare to these. Not to mention the fact that my tent is a trekking pole tent, and so they're kind of necessary, so I don't have to cut a stick the right length every time I camp. But these are great. They're fine. They were like $17. I don't know. I don't remember. These are 5 years old because I got these right at the beginning of the Survivalist Club. So that's the trekking poles. What else we got in here? Let me take this brain and peel it back. This way you can see some of the features of the backpack as well. I really love this compression strap that they put across the top here. And then also it's got a buckle up here and it folds down. This thing does really well at keeping moisture out. We know all about moisture, not in Arizona, but in Indiana we had lots and lots of moisture. But you can see, you can actually expand this thing about as much as you want. What is that? I think it's advertised as a 60-liter backpack, but I think that, I don't know, maybe it goes a lot bigger. I don't have a measurement on it, but if you needed to carry some extra stuff, there certainly would be room for that. All right, the first thing that I have in my backpack, by the way, is it a fact that the longer you backpack, the lazier you get at packing your backpack? I don't know, maybe put that in the comments. But what we have here is an REI Igneo 17-degree long sleeping bag. This is down. I got it used off the REI website, and they even washed it for me. It said it came clean and sanitized, so that was a good thing. But I tell you what, for most of the time, when I'm camping and backpacking, it's pretty warm. I'd say most of the time that I've used this, especially during the summer, I've slept on top. Now, if we've been in a place that has been cold, like we were up by Bear Canyon Lake this fall with the boys camping out there, I got in it. It was super cozy. And so this would probably be an excellent 3-season at least, but I would imagine there would be times you could even use it, maybe in conjunction with somebody or something else for even colder weather. Seems to be that 17-degree rating. It's pretty good. Pretty accurate. All right, what we got next is the cooking pot. Oh, and we got something sneaking out there too. All right, I guess I'll talk about that first. I always wanted a titanium spork. I don't know why. Probably because I read too many forums online. This titanium spork is my sacrifice so that I can carry, good, there it is, my steel cup. You say you carry a steel cup and you consider yourself a lightweight backpacker? Yes, I do. It's my consolation. It's my cup of coffee in the morning. It's my mug. I'm sure there are lighter options out there, but I am keeping the steel cup. So I made up for it by getting a titanium spork. That made more noise than I thought it would. All right. What's up next is my cooking pot. I've had this since the very beginning, and I'm not changing. It's aluminum, so it's coated aluminum. It's a perfect size for what I need it for. The only thing about this pot, which, by the way, it's an Overmont pot, weighs 8.4 ounces. The only thing negative that I can say about this is that it is just barely too small to put one of the small butane canisters in. But that's okay. I fill it with other stuff anyway and just let the butane canister float. So it works out fine for me. There goes the lid. This, for you coffee drinkers out there, I found the perfect coffee filter. When you're backpacking, you're not really concerned about cleanliness. Most of us aren't. I'll show you here in a second how you clean this out. But this is a GSI pour-over coffee filter. It goes right on top of my steel cup. Let me see if I can reach over there and have my steel cup somehow come at my hand. That was amazing. All right. But what you do is you put that thing on the cup. See, I bet you wish you had camping gear that would just fly at you. That was great. All right, put it on there. Put your coffee grounds in there. Pour hot water over. Bam! Pour over coffee at camp. And what does this thing weigh? It weighs nothing. Practically. I mean, 0.3 ounces. Are you serious? Okay, so once you get that done with that, you've drunk your cup of coffee, you got this thing sitting somewhere, probably on a rock or something. It's on my armchair right now. Then you drink your coffee, set that down. To clean this thing out is the easiest thing ever I've discovered. You take it like that, got coffee grounds in there, and you go bam, bam. You just do that until the coffee grounds stop coming out. The thing is like that. It's clean. And it's ready for your next cup of coffee. All right, now that is awesome. Cost me about 10 bucks. Can't beat that. It was definitely worth it for me. Oh, what other goodies do we have in here? How about my very first backpacking stove I ever had? This is a Primus or Primus something. It was $30 a long time ago, and it works great. It doesn't self-ignite, so you got to bring a lighter. I make the boys carry the lighters because it makes my pack lighter. Ha! Anyway, and that's it right there. Look at that little silicone thing on it. It's great, and it's super light. It packs down. It's really very stable. Screws down right on top of the canister that you would have. That it was definitely a good purchase right there because it's one of the few things, including this pot, that has lasted the entire, 5+ years. We're going on 6 or 7 years actually. Anyway, and so I'm glad for that. Those of you who are experienced backpackers, there it is. And that weighs, it's just a plastic trowel. It weighs 1.9 ounces. For those of you who are not experienced backpackers, get one of these. All right, you guys know what it's used for. You don't make me say it. All right. Here we go. My boys must have packed my pack. This is spaghetti. No, actually, really, it's a bear hang kit. We do the Pacific Coast Trail bear hang in our camps to keep any kind of animals out. It's just something we practice in the Survivalist Club. And so that's just what we use. It's got a little carabiner there on the end, length of paracord. I think my extra paracord's mixed up in here too, and that just weighs 1.9 ounces, so you can't beat that. Don't forget about that. You know what, the bears or the raccoons or the stray dogs or the Mogollon monsters to get your food, so you want to put it up in the tree. Toiletries, my toiletry kit. That weighs about, I don't know, half a pound. I'll be honest with you. All right, just between me and you, you don't really need deodorant in the wilderness. I take this for one reason alone. Because my wife helps me. All right, here you go. And my boys appreciate it too, because they don't want stinky old dad around. All right, next thing is going to be my pack cover. This is a pack cover. You say, is the pack waterproof? It is not waterproof. It is very water resistant. And so I went on REI, and I got a pack cover. It's called a duckback rain cover, and the whole thing weighs 5.4 ounces. A little bit of insurance. I probably wouldn't bring this on an Arizona backpacking trip unless there was rain expected. In Indiana, it was always expected, so I always carried it. But again, inexpensive insurance there. All right, here's my butane tank right there. I carry one with me. I used to carry two, and then I always only used one. And this thing right now, about 3/4 full. It's about 8 ounces that it adds to the pack. All right, what else we got here? Oh, I got to talk a little bit about these. These are awful, by the way, in one way, but they're great in another. So this is Expedition Fuel Ultra High Density Cubes. These are just fuel tablets. They do great. They burn at like 1,000 degrees is the advertised temperature. That we've started many fires with them. Can I say this? Before you put this in your backpack, double bag it. You say, why, Jason, do I want to double bag those Expedition tablets? Caleb, why do we want to do that? Because they smell like fish. They make everything else smell like fish too. Really gross, but really necessary. Okay, so for instance, we were in the wilderness area in Ohio, backcountry camping, and it was raining. And I mean raining. It was apocalyptic type rain. It was sheets, lightning striking everywhere. And I used one of those expedition fuel tablets to actually get a fire going. You say, I could have done it without that. And I say, well, good, I'm glad you could have. But I'm not sure in that case, but it was very helpful to us. And so I just carry those out of habit and don't usually use them unless it's been raining or something like that. Oh, you always need this, don't you? You know what that is? That is a Sawyer squeeze. We got the regular sized one. The mini clogs up way too fast and has very low flow rate. This one I found with the kit that I was able to set up that you could do a drip, hang a bag up and allow it to go down into a bottle. I got a system set up for that. On Amazon, they've got like this $3 adapter to where you can tie the filter to the bottle, water bottle. We use Life water bottles or similar when we go backpacking, and it's just this little deal right here that enables you to be able to just hang it. You hang it, and it just flows through. And this has a good flow rate, and these work great. I think Sawyer's squeeze is probably standard for backpacking. And so that's all I've got to say about that. I also carry as a backup some water treatment tablets, iodine, and the other. And so just want to make sure that your water's safe. I always carry this. This is my puffy. Even in the summer, I carry this. And you say, why? Well, this 11.6 ounces allows me to be warm when I need to be warm, but it also allows me to have a pillow. It tucks in on itself. I don't even know if you can get these anymore, but it is down. And you stick it all into the pocket and it turns into a pillow. And so I just use it for my pillow. And that way also I've got another layer that's down in order to be able to stay warm when I'm out on the trail. All right. Frogg Toggs. Again, we're in Arizona now. Were Frogg Toggs necessary in Indiana? You better believe it. But these are light and they've worked fine for me. I haven't had any problems with them tearing or anything like that. And so it's worked just fine for me. These only weigh 10.9 ounces. And so good weather insurance there. Again, if it wasn't in the forecast, I probably would just leave that at home and be able to save that weight here in Arizona, because you don't really have too many surprise thunderstorms until you get to the monsoon of the year. All right, middle-aged guys. All right, lean in and take a look at this. This is called a sleeping pad. Let me tell you something about a sleeping pad. You need one because that makes backpacking very much more enjoyable. Now, this is a Klymit Static V2 that I got at Walmart. It is not insulated. It is pretty inexpensive, and it seems to work fine for me. Hasn't sprung any leaks on probably 10 backpacking trips or something like that. I've had it for a few years. And, well, we do have a few more things before I get to the tent here. First of all, mini first aid kit. You can really whittle those down to what's necessary, 2.8 ounces. It's got everything I need. It's got the moleskin, it's got the space blanket, it's got vitamin I, it's got just various other things that are in here that I need, and just in case, Band-Aids, whatnot. And it's really light. Whistle, pink. Never any danger of that being stolen in camp, right? All right, and a patch for my sleeping pad, which I'm very thankful I have not had to use as of yet. By the way, I'm pulling the stuff out of the hip belt pockets, which this has ample hip belt pockets. All right, again, now this, I'll still wear this here too because of the, existence of ticks and chiggers and mosquitoes and whatnot. Yes, they do exist in the Arizona mountains. Don't judge me. All right, here we go. We got that, and we have a compass. Absolutely necessary. It's an inexpensive one, but not the cheapest one. I had the cheapest one and it broke. Then I had the cheapest one again and it broke. And so I got a medium one I can use on top of a map, which we do bring maps, usually bring maps of where we're going unless we're just absolutely familiar with the territory in which we're located. All right, and finally, I think this is it. My tent. This will be upgraded at some point. Not anytime soon because, to be quite frank, I like it a lot. It's a Six Moons design, but it's the Scout Trekker, which means it's not the absolute latest material to be used. It is waterproof. I seam sealed it very poorly myself with lots and lots of seam seal, but I probably added 3 ounces of seam seal to it. But it's been a great tent, and so I'm not in a hurry to upgrade it, but I'm going to if I find $700. Okay, so you say, well, since you go backpacking quite a bit, what kind of tent stakes do you use? Mini-Groundhogs, period. That's it. Look at that. Indiana dirt or Arizona dirt on there. Absolutely. The Groundhogs are the ones that you want to get. All right, so I said this was a trekking tent, or a trekking pole tent, and it is. It's a one-person trekking pole tent, and so it needs your trekking poles in order to hold it up. Well, Six Moons Design sells these extremely light aluminum poles in order to use in place of your trekking poles. You say, what good is that? Well, I like it. They weigh very little, and so yeah, I'm super happy with being able to use these instead of my trekking poles, especially if I plan on staying camping in a place more than one night. And so I don't know, that was my upgrade, I suppose, because I've had this tent, as I said, for several years. All right, this is just a piece of Tyvek by Six Moons Design. It's a ground cover for the tent. I always recommend a ground cover because I don't want the bottom wearing out. We've had that actually happen a couple of different times. And so the whole tent setup, that entire thing, including the ground cover, including the poles, the additional poles that I bought in order to be able to set that up. Get this, that whole thing is 3.13 pounds. I don't think that's bad, especially for a low price tent that's not with your greatest materials maybe, but it works great and it's waterproof and it has been through some storms, buddy. Yeah, so anyway, I recommend it highly. And we already did the backpack, and so I'll just throw that off to the side because a couple other things, these are bonus that I got to talk to you about when we go backpacking. Let me grab them right here. Oh, you already see them in the back. Here we go. These are Danish Endurance wool blend socks. They're a lot less expensive than some of the other brands, but I've never had a problem with staying warm in them or them wearing out or anything like that. They're really good. They don't really hold their shape, but when they're on your foot shape doesn't change too much. It kind of stretches to the way that your foot actually is. So it works fine for me. And so I had 3 pairs of these, and now I bought 6 more pairs. I know I'm a Dutch Endurance glutton, but what can I say? 6 more pairs of these so that I can wear them to work all the time. Now, we've been getting down to the negatives at night because this winter has been exceptional here in northern Arizona. So we got down to negative 10 or 12 one night, and I was out the next day at work all day long in the snow, and I was wearing a pair of these, and it did really good. My feet didn't really get that cold, and so I highly recommend these Danish Endurance socks. And finally, you may wonder, maybe I should do a different video about these, but you may wonder, what do I wear on the backpacking trail? This is it right here. Salomon Quest 4s. That's what they are, Salomon Quest 4s. Now, I bought these at Bass Pro. My first pair came delaminated on the toe. However, I contacted Salomon, and they just simply sent me a new pair of boots. And so I definitely highly recommend their warranty, a 2-year warranty. So you can't beat that. Anyway, Total dry weight for the backpack, now obviously not including the shoes, they're going to be on my feet, or the socks too. Total dry weight for my backpack, we were able to whittle it down over the last couple of years to 17 pounds, 2 ounces. I don't think that's bad at all. I carry pretty much everything I need. I used to bring along stuff like, I don't know, giant power banks. Now I bring a small power bank. I guess I need to include that in my dry weight. But I used to bring my Kindle. I realized something. I don't ever use my Kindle. So I don't bring it anymore. We just enjoy nature. And besides that, I have access to a lot of things on my phone that we didn't used to have access to, right? So including my maps, and my Gaia GPS is what I use for my maps, and also AllTrails. And if I want to read a book, well, I can bring a book, and it won't add that much more weight, but I'll just bring a paper book, which I've kind of gotten back to anyway. Well, this has been a very, very, very long video. And so I thank you so much for bearing with me to the very end. I want you to get out and have your own adventures with your family. And hopefully your adventure is as fun as ours. We're a family that loves adventuring. And I thank you so much for joining us on the Burton Adventure AZ channel here on YouTube. We'll see you next time. And please leave any comments in the comment section. And if there are questions about some stuff that we actually take out on the trail, things like that, then I'd be happy to answer some questions about what we do. I don't know, maybe you could get another view of it. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel. And we will see you next time. What did I forget? Oh, really? Oh, come on. Why wasn't that in the pack? Anyway, black diamond headlamp. Add 4.164 ounces. All right, what else did I forget? That's that big battery bank I say I don't bring anymore. No. Maybe the kids want to plug something in. That weighs 52 pounds. No, really, it doesn't, but I'll put that in the description. All right. Have a great night.